Have you ever wondered why some entrepreneurs who make some revolutionary changes in the business while others just blend into society? The difference often comes to the mindset of the people or the effort and strength they took differently from others. Good afternoon, guys. Today I'm gonna review about the book called A Mad Genius, a manifesto for the entrepreneurs, which is written by a famous American writer and the motivational speaker, Randy Paul. This book is all about challenging the conventional theories and thinking us differently from others, and also tap into create our own genius from other, which is different from others. I will be taking over the next few minutes. I will be taking you through the what is this book about, what are the conventional theories are, what are the key takeaways and lessons that we can learn from this book, and how we can differ from others, and why it is important for us, especially the MBA student like us, and also for the future entrepreneurs. This book is not a typical handbook with explaining the formulas and theories by step. Instead, it's a provocative approach. The author has applied a provocative approach to make us feel like to think differently from others, and to give us some energy to rethink that we see the business and the concept like success and failure. The book has divided into three major parts. The first part explains how we are reached where we are today, how the conventional thinking are, and what Gage is called sacred cows. And the second part explains about the future. Look at the future, how the disruptive changes which is happening in the technology and society, and why the entrepreneurs need to adapt into it quickly. And the third part explain about the more about practical the strategies and exercises which need to be implemented to expand our creativity and embrace the risk, and which has to be applied in our new thing in the real life. So overall, this book, written in a bold and sometimes in a confrontational state, the only goal is to very clear, to wake us up and help us become what he called mad genius it is. Let's discuss what are the core takeaways of this book. The first core takeaway from this book, challenging the conventional thing. Probably this is one of the strongest point and idea of the book, challenging and questioning everything. Gage argues that the rules and practices that we are accepting in our business and society and education, which are completely based on the outdated assumption, and Gage calls these assumptions, these ideas, as called sacred cows. For example, the idea that must always play safe and you should be avoid the failure at any cost is you can take as an example of sacred cows. According to him, the real innovation comes when we are there to ask why are we following this particular pattern which others are following, and we should have the ability to ask is there any better way we can find out which will be differently from others. So this is a reminder that if we simply follow the crowd, we will be ending up in the average cell. So if you want to stand out differently, you have to be willing to challenge this sacred cause. Now come to the second takeaway of this, creativity and multiple thinking modes. Creativity is not something which happen by accident. It is requires a deliberate effort from the people, from ourselves. He also encourage us to think in a combined way of different thinking of ways, which is lateral and logical and playful. He also suggests some practical habits like mind mapping, setting aside for thinking time, and also approaching each problems and scenario with a child curiosity. According to his viewpoint, creativity is not something which few people are born with. It is something all of us can strengthen from ourselves. It's then comes out of from that. Now let's come to the third takeaway from this book. Failure is a part of success. Probably this is one of my favorite takeaway from this book. Failure is not opposite of success, but the mediocrity it is. If you are not falling often, that means you are not taking enough risk. For the entrepreneurs, each stage of the failure is a platform for the learning and for getting the feedback. It will show them, it will help them to get to know what will work, what will not be work, and what should be done and what should not be repeated, and what are things that have to bring up if they don't want to repeat the same mistake. So they have to try something new, and this same mindset is extremely relevant for the MBA students like us. If while doing the project, while doing something which is new into the market, we have to be a mindset to do something which is new. Maybe the bigger risk will be not trying at all. What to take away from this book? Preparing for the future and disruption. In this section, he argues that how the industries are being disrupted by technology, especially the artificial intelligence and social media and big data and new business model. The idea is actually the world is changing faster than ever before. If we still cling into the old business model and old technique use, we will be left behind. For the entrepreneurs, they must always stay flexible, and they should have the ability to adapt to the new technologies and new innovation. They must have the ability to forward looking in the environment. He also gave the examples of some of the companies who failed because they ignored the disruption, and some other companies who succeeded because they embraced the risk. Let's discuss what are the strengths and the weakness of this book. What I like about the Mad Genius is it's not a dry academic book. It's feel energetic and bold, sometimes even shocking. It will feel the audience stay engaged while reading the book. I also like that it's not afraid to tell us the fact that most of us play it too safe. But some another critics they argues that this book is bit of unstructured way, and more it's more motivational push rather than the step by step formulas and technique use. That's the point actually, but the book is designed to shake you up rather than give you a checklist. So let's discuss what are the personal insight which I have learned from this book. Creativity is not something for the artists. It's also essential for the entrepreneurs and managers, business managers, and MBA students like us. During my academic journey, I often find myself where I was working on the project which the safe route is to follow is the usual pattern. This book made me to realize that we should try something new, even though if it is risky. For example, while doing the presentation, we can approach new methods. While doing the video project, we can experiment new techniques and new ideas into it, even though if it is feels strange. This book, The Mad Genius, will give energy to think that we should have the ability to ask why the certain method are always being followed. That's the mindset of the mad genius, daring to be different even though if it is uncomfortable. Let's wrap up the session. A Mad Genius, a manifesto for the entrepreneurs, is a call to an action from the authors to the readers. If we want to do something truly meaningful, we should challenge the old assumption. We should modify it, even though if it is risky, even though if it is fail, learn from the mistake, embrace the creativity, and prepare for the future disruption. The message from this book review is don't be afraid to unleash your inner mad genius. What if there can be create something new extraordinary in your life? What if that can be a key to create something new and that can have the huge impact on your life? So that's about for the book review for today. Thank you for hearing me out. Thank you.